That was Derek Pervacini. He is completely blind, has autism, but has prodigious and extraordinary piano abilities. His ability on the piano is so extraordinary that even people playing at his level who are not completely blind or show signs of autism would be seen as virtuosic and even musical geniuses. This juxtaposition of skill and disability is called Savant Syndrome. So what is Savant Syndrome, and what cognitive and neurological processes that give rise to such a fascinating condition? Those are things that I will be answering in this video. You all may have heard about the 1988 movie Rain Man. He has an astounding memory for baseball statistics, the phone book, and the ability to count cards. This is an example of Savant Syndrome, and no matter what, it is always linked to massive memory. This fact about Savant Syndrome was brought to attention by John Langdon Down in 1887, who had a patient that was able to memorize the entire rise and fall of the Roman Empire, and can also recite it backwards. Down said that Savant Syndrome equals special skills plus phenomenal memory. And a matter of fact, special savant skills are always accompanied with prodigious memory. This memory, however, is unconscious, automatic, and concrete. They are not consciously aware that they are retrieving things from memory. The memory is also very deep and narrowly focused about one thing, such as Derek and his obsession with music. His memory for music is so great that you can play him an extremely difficult classical piece, and he'll be able to play it back to you perfectly.
Okay, right then, find the pedal then. Keep going there, don't as well going there.
It is also assumed that all people with autism have Savant Syndrome, or that all people with Savant Syndrome have autism. However, this is not the case at all. And a matter of fact, 50% of people with Savant Syndrome have autism, and 1 in 10 people with autism have Savant Syndrome. It is also assumed that savants are only capable of replicating things, but this is not true. As their abilities progress, they move on to improvisation, such as Derek. Savant skills also occur in a narrow range of special abilities, such as music, as in Derek's case, art, calendar keeping skills, math, mechanical, and spatial skills. However, multiple skills are also seen to be present in some savants, which is more common among savants who have autism. Savant Syndrome also has its own spectrum, which consists of splinter skills, talented and prodigious. To have splinter skills is to have an obsession, preoccupation, and memorization with certain things. Being on the talented part of the spectrum means that they are really good in an ability. If they are on the prodigious part of the spectrum, like Derek, they are at a level of ability that would be incredible for even neurotypicals to have. However, there are only something like 50 known cases of prodigious savants. Savant syndrome can either be congenital or acquired. Most often it's congenital. However, those who are not savants can acquire savant skills following a brain injury.
My hands seemed to be doing things that I had no idea of, and I had never played a piano. I had never taken piano lessons as a child.
So you may be wondering what's going on neurologically that gives rise to Savant syndrome. So this is what happens. The left hemisphere normally completes its development later than the right hemisphere and is subjected to prenatal influences. When the prenatal influences cause damage to the left hemisphere, a recruitment of cortical tissue from the right hemisphere rewires to the left hemisphere, and there is a release of dormant potential containing the savant skills within that cortical tissue. In the case of acquired savants, the special skills have remained dormant before the brain injury done to the left hemisphere, but are released after the brain injury. This means that everyone has savant skills within their brain, but they are remained dormant, like something that is locked up in a safe and you don't have the combination, and doing damage to the safe is the only possible way of gaining access to what's inside the safe.